Universal Practical Knowledge. We start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. I'm Officer 5000, Mataza Pod. We'll be holding down tonight's class. Tuesday night is the Brotherhood class. So if you have any questions pertaining to Brotherhood, you want to chime in, whatever, just go ahead and raise your hand if you're in class. And then, if you're online or whatever, just go ahead and type in whatever you want to type in. All right, so the story that we're about to go into today, right? We're about to go into Lazarus. I know a lot of people, everybody has heard about Lazarus, but a lot of people might not have heard the story about Lazarus. And in the story of Lazarus, you can learn a lot. You can learn on how to be a brother, and then you can learn how not to be a brother. All right, dealing with the story of Lazarus. So I'm gonna just go ahead and go straight into it. We're gonna go into, or can I, if I may, can I get I think it's Salakia. John, I think it's John. John 11. I think it's John chapter 11, Salakia. John chapter 11. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready whenever you are.
The book of John, chapter 11, verse 1. Now a certain man was sick named Lazarus of Bethany, the town of Mary and her sister Martha.
Right, so it's already starting off, it's letting you know that Lazarus is sick. All right, go ahead.
It was that Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick.
Right. So remember the lady who washed Christ's hair with her feet? This is Lazarus' sister.
You lock it.
This is Lazarus' sister. All right, go ahead. Or that was Lazarus' sister. Go ahead.
Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick.
Right. And so now they come to Christ and they like, yo, the brother who you love, like your boy, he's sick. It says, verse 3, therefore his sisters sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. So this is a brother that Christ loved. Go ahead, if I may.
When Yahushua heard that, he said, the sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby.
Right. And so the sickness that he has is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified thereby. So like what's happening with Lazarus is so everybody can see the glory of Christ, the glory of God through Christ. OK, when Lazarus, when y'all know what happens to Lazarus and then Christ brings him back, it's so that everybody can see that and glorify the Most High.
It's the same reason why the man was born blind.
Born in John 9, right? Go ahead.
Now Yahushua loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus.
Right. Yahushua loved these people, man. I mean, okay, go ahead.
When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, he abode 2 days till the same place where he was.
Right. When Yahushua heard that Lazarus was sick, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. So wherever Christ was at, he stayed there for 2 days because he was that messed up about Lazarus. Go ahead.
Then after that, said he to his disciples, let us go to Judea again.
Right. So after the 2 days pass, he talks to his disciples. He like, yo, let's go over to Judea. Go ahead.
His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again?
Right. So remember when Christ was in Judea before, when Christ was in Salakia, God, errors. When Christ was in Judea before, they had sought to try to stone Christ. They was going to try to unalive him, right? You know that every time Christ came around, the Sadducees and Pharisees would try to like ask him a question to trip him up to see what he would say, right? And every time they did that, Christ would cut him. So the disciples is like, man, you trying to go back to Judea where, they was about to stone you? Salakia. Read on.
All right. Yahweh Shai, verse 9. John chapter 11, verse 9. Yahweh Shai answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world.
Right. It's 12 hours in the day. If you walk in during the day, it's still like a metaphor too. If you walk in during the day, you won't stumble. And why? Because you could see. Go ahead.
But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in him.
Right. That's where you could see where, like, it's a metaphor, because it said that the light is not in the person. Right. And what is the light? The light is the law. Right. Go ahead.
These things, verse 11, these things said he, and after that he saith unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep.
Right. It says that our friend Lazarus, he sleepeth, but I'm going to go that I may awake him out of sleep. Right. And you know that death is equated with sleeping. I forgot there's a scripture that say, you'll sleep with your fathers. Right. Go ahead.
Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit, Jesus spake of his death. But they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep.
Right. So when Christ was talking about sleep, he just simply said, our friend Lazarus, he sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. So they think that Christ is just talking about literally sleeping, like Lazarus is, tired or something. But actually, Christ is talking about Lazarus being dead, being deceased. Go ahead.
Then said Yahweh unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead.
Right. Like every time when Christ talked, Christ spoke in parables. Right. And the only way that you can understand the parable or it's called a dark saying is if somebody break it down to you. So even though he was talking about sleep, they didn't understand what he was saying until he had to plainly say Lazarus is dead. Right. Go ahead.
And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there.
Right. What did he say?
And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there.
Right. This is how much Christ loved Lazarus. He said, for your sakes, I'm glad that for your sakes that I wasn't there. Read on.
To the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him.
Verse 16.
Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his fellow disciples, let us also go that we may die with him.
Right. So they're like, all right, so let us go so that we can die with them. Right. Read on.
Then when Yahweh came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already.
Right. So when they get there, at this point, Lazarus has already been in the grave for 4 days. Remember, when they first heard that there was a problem with Lazarus or that he was sick, right? Christ stayed in the spot that he was at for 2 days. And then that's when they left to go to Judea. So now when they get to Judea, Lazarus has been in the grave for 4 days already. All right, go ahead.
Hold on, so I get
verse 18.
Verse 18. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off.
Right. Bethany is the place where Lazarus is at. And the 15 furlongs is like a distance. All right, go ahead.
And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother.
Right. And so, brother, just how anybody would, you hurting, your brother passed away. Now people are coming to console you. Right. Go ahead.
Now, Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahushua was coming, went and met him, but Mary sat still in the house.
Right. So Martha went out to go meet Yahushua. When she heard Yahushua was coming, she went out to go meet him, right? But Mary, the Lazarus' sister, stayed in the house. Okay, go ahead.
Then said Martha unto Yahushua, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died.
Right. So Martha's like, man, if you was here, like Lazarus wouldn't be dead. He wouldn't be dead right now. Go ahead.
But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee.
Right. So she believes that if he was there beforehand, he would have had the power, of course, to save Lazarus before he died. But because he's there, she says that, Salakia, 24, Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again. Oh, no. Which one did you
22.
just read? 22, Salakia. Verse 22, but I know that even now, whatsoever thou will ask of God, like whatever you ask of God, because she believes in Christ, she knows that she believes that he's the Son of God. So she knows that whatever he asks of the Most High, that it will be given unto him. Read on.
Yahushua saith unto her, verse 23, thy brother shall rise again.
Right. Your brother's going to rise again. Okay, go ahead.
Martha saith unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. 25, Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. Mm-hmm. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, shall he live.
Right. So it says, so verse 24, Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. So she does believe in the resurrection. Remember that was what Paul used when he was talking to when they was accusing him of teaching against the law. Paul recognized the room and he read the room. And then he mentioned something about the resurrection because he knew that the Pharisees believed in the resurrection, but the Sadducees didn't. And so the Pharisees stood up and they, backed Paul in that instance. But right here, Martha understands the resurrection. She understands that you're going to come back again. And she's saying that, okay, well, I know that he's going to come back in the resurrection. And then Yahushua says, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Of course, that's a metaphor again, because Black people are dead in America. You know, the valley, the metaphor of the valley of dry bones. The valley of dry bones is talking about people that's not literally dead. It's talking about people that are living, but spiritually are dead. So if you believe in Christ, of course, now you won't be dead. Now you'll be living. That's what he's saying right here. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall. Oh, Salaki, I went too far. Verse 25. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection unto the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Go ahead.
Verse 26, and whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Mm-hmm. Believest thou this?
Mm-hmm. Do you believe this? Read on.
She saith unto him, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Christ, mm-hmm. the Son of God, which should come unto the world.
Right. She said, yeah, I do believe. I do believe that you are the Christ, right? You are the Messiah and the Son of God. She didn't say, I believe you are the Messiah and God. She understands that he's the Son of God. So that this whole, Christ is the Father, all that Trinity stuff is nonsense. She specifically understands that he's the Son of God, which should come into the world. Why? How does she know that he should come into the world? Because they understand the Old Testament. At this point in time, anytime you went into the synagogue or anytime you would learn about the Most High or the Messiah that's supposed to come, you would read it out of the Old Testament, okay? And she understands that he is the Christ that's supposed to come into the world. Verse 28.
And when she has so said, she went her way and called Mary, her sister, secretly, saying, mm-hmm. The master is come and called for thee. And as soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Now Yahushua was not yet come unto the town, but was in that place where Martha met him.
Okay. It said, verse 28, it says, and when she had so said, she went her way. So she said, I believe that you are the Christ. I believe that you are the Son of God. I believe that you are the one that's supposed to come into the world. Verse 29. And as soon as she heard that, she arose quickly and came unto him. Hold on, Salakia. I'm in the wrong spot. Shalom, Lord Christ. Salakia, what scripture was that that you left off on?
28.
28. Verse 28. And when she had so said, she went her way and called Mary, her sister, secretly, saying, the master is come and calleth for thee. So Martha goes back to the crib. Now she's talking to Mary like, yo, Christ is here and he want to speak with you. Right, he calleth thee. Verse 29.
Verse 29. As soon as she heard that, I read this one already.
Okay, verse 29. As soon as Mary heard that, she arose quickly and came to Yahushua. Verse 30. Now Yahushua did you read that? Verse 30?
Yeah.
Okay. Now Yahushua was not yet coming to the town, so Yahushua didn't get to Bethany yet. Remember, because Martha had stopped him before he got to Bethany. So he was not yet coming into the town, but was in the place where Martha had met him. Verse 31.
The Jews then, which were with her in the house and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out, followed her, saying, she goeth unto the grave to weep there.
Right. So remember, there was some brothers and sisters that had came to console Mary and Martha. And so when Martha comes back and gives the message to Mary, right? Verse 31, the Jews then which were with her in the house and comforted her, right? The people that's there, rubbing her back, saying it's going to be okay, and getting her, whatever, right? They're comforting her. When they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily and went out. When they seen her get the message from Martha, she got up, she hastily went out. They followed her, saying, she go off into the grave to weep there. So they thought that she was going to go to Lazarus' grave to go weep at the grave. Verse 32.
Yeah, 1 second. I wanted to say something. Mm-hmm. But like when you even at the beginning of the story, when you listen to it, he already knew, even when they came to him and tell him that Lazarus was sick.
Yeah,
he had already knew that it wasn't going to be, something that was going to really, be life threatening like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, of course he was going to go through the motions, of course. And it was just to show that, that the Lord, will be declared, you know what I'm saying, when Christ actually does heal him. But it just shows like the foresight that Christ always had.
Right.
Even from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Because even like when we was breaking it down, he, even when he was speaking in the parables and saying that he was, sleep and stuff like that and all that, they still didn't understand what he was saying.
No.
And then of course, then he had to just speak to him plain, of course. But as you see, like, just the foresight that he already had even at the beginning of this whole thing.
Khan. And this is all happening so that we can glorify the Son of God, right? So that we can understand when we see him doing these miracles, when we see him going and he's teaching the way he's teaching with such authority, we understand that this is who we waiting for. We don't have to question the situation like John did. Remember, John seen the glory of the Most High descend on Christ like a dove and everything, and he baptized him, and then he, in his moment of weakness, questioned Christ. Well, we don't have to question Christ. You see what I'm saying?
But that's how a lot of brothers are, man. Like, sisters too. You know what I'm saying? It's like, when you first come into the truth, Christ is black, and the Israelites are black,
right?
And you know what I'm saying? Keeping the commandments, all of that. But then it's like, as time go on, time goes on, a year go by, 2 years go by, maybe even 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? But then it's like you start getting that fatigue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You stop showing up for class. You stop, you know what I'm saying? You stop checking in, and you stop doing all the things that you did in the beginning, right? And then when that happens, you start questioning the truth. You start saying, well, I mean, you know, is this really the truth? You know what I'm saying? Like, is Christ really gonna come back?
Yeah.
Do I even believe in Christ?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it's like we read about it, but this is a very real thing because it could very well be you. The same people that we read about.
For sure.
It could very well be you. You know what I'm
sure.
saying? And a lot of people ain't ready for that. So it's like the things that you did in the beginning, you got to make sure that you stick to those things so that you can stay motivated, because it's very, very easy for you to just, you know, end up being like one of the people that we read about.
Right. You got on year 3, 4, 5, you got to work 10 times harder, because hey, that's a thing, man. I didn't seen it before. Class fatigue. Hey, niggas start getting tired of coming to class, getting tired of going to camp and all that, man. And his time just started dwindling down until you just don't see him no more, man. Because he had class fatigue. Right.
Yeah.
So whatever was that driving force that brought you in here is what you have to call on. You know, when Satan on your back, you feel me? When them demons is like, hey man, you only got 24 hours in a day, and these niggas require this much of time after you didn't already been at work. You know, you tired. You didn't dealt with this. You didn't dealt with that. You don't have no time for yourself. And then you got your one. Not only do you got the demons on you, you got your woman in your ear too. Go ahead.
But that's you know, to your point, which is heavy, is like that's the thing. Like what, and that's the reason you should come to class even more. You should fight to come even harder. But like that's why like you'll see like okay, like you see like a General Muhammad, you know, who've been in the truth well over 20 years, still doing class every Monday, faithfully, every Thursday, right, every single week. Right. You see Commander General Yana, who've been in the truth for 40 years, still doing it every single Monday. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kind of, if you want to look for like the longevity and the ability to stay and the ability to be around, and the reason that they're doing that is so that you don't get that fatigue. Right. You gotta get up in it. You gotta hit it head on, and that's what's gonna carry you over the time. But when, like you said, with John, once things start getting hard for you, you start to question Christ. Right. You start to question whether Christ is the truth. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what you're doing in real time, in the 2025. That's what you start to do. It's like you start to question, is Christ really the Messiah? You know what I'm saying? Is Christ really black? Does it even matter? You know, can heathens be saved? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like I've seen it happen over the years. Like I've seen dudes that came and slept on my couch. You know what I'm saying? That we went to camp, studied the breakdown. Right. Nigga leave the truth. And a nigga started teaching that all heathens can be saved. Shalom, all nations. Yeah, literally. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm like, wow, you never consider that it could very well be you. But when you read it, and I'm gonna be off of it, but you know, when you read it, you like, oh, how could John, you know, John seen him coming down, you know, John's stupid. Yeah. Then next thing you know, you end up being John. Like, God damn. Right. And the generals ain't teaching them classes every day, you know, for itself. He teaching them for you. He teaching them for us. They could have just sat in a room somewhere, read this Bible, and kept it all to themselves. They're not doing it year after year after year after year for themselves, for personal gratification. They doing it for you. Right. Right. For you to be able to learn. And then teach the next brothers that come in here. So back to Lazarus, right? So Mary, she's out. Mary's out meeting with Lazarus now. Verse 33. Verse 33. When Yahweh therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled, and said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Right. Because this is his boy. It already said it from the gate that he loved Lazarus.
You see what I'm saying? So now when Mary's coming to him, remember Mary, the Mary that they're mentioning right here is the same one that washed Christ's feet with the ointment, right? When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in his spirit like, oh man, you know how you can see somebody, you might see somebody crying or something, and it can make you groan in your spirit. It can make you, ooh, you know what I mean? He felt something at that point and was troubled and said, where have you laid him? Where Lazarus at, man? Verse 35.
Jesus wept.
He did what?
Jesus wept.
That's, man, look. He felt some type of way about this brother. And our Messiah wept because that's how much he loved this brother. Go ahead.
If I could. But then like the church, they just be like, Jesus wept. It's like, they try to make it into like Christ being soft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But and then the gate, like when, you know, like when he made it, he took the cords and he beats people out the temple and they regret, you know what I'm saying?
They take the spirit behind it out of it. Like,
yeah,
he just took the cords and just
get out of here. Look, when you see like churches, they'll just have like Jesus wept, like on, and that's just like the catchphrase for the, you know what I'm saying? It's like even on keychains, Jesus wept,
almost like he's crying for the earth or something like that. What you meaning, like?
Yeah, it's like one of them things, like you know, like the church does, like when they have like the fish. They be like Jesus saves, and there's like a fish.
Just like a slogans, like them little.
Yeah, and then like the Jesus wept is like one of them like heavy slogans that like the Christians use. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of takes away from what kind of a man Christ really was. You know what I mean? They take this one moment here and say, okay, well, this is how he is. He's just a crying dude who just love everybody. But really, that's not
he was weeping because his boy was in the grave. You feel me? You know, that just like you would weep if your boy was in the grave. He ain't just crying just to be crying because he's like sensitive or something. You know what I mean? You know how, what's that song? You need a man with sense. Nah, it's not crying because he's sensitive. He's crying because his boy is in the grave. Go ahead.
36. Then said the Jews, behold, how he loved them. And some of them said, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died?
Right. So then that goes to show you, remember we was referencing that earlier about the blind man. And they're referencing this too. You see what I'm saying? So they are already at this point. The blind man is like, I think, 2 or 3 verses over. So they didn't see him get healed already. And it says, then said the Jews, behold, how he loved them, because they see Yahushua weeping. So they're like, man, goddamn, he loved Lazarus. And some of the other ones said, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? So they like still question him as well. You know, they still questioning Christ as well. Like, well, if he opened the eyes of the blind man, could not he do the same thing with this dude as well? Verse 38.
Verse 38. Jesus, Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself, coming to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone laid upon it. Jesus said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he hath been dead 4 days.
And if I may, real quick, Tazai, I want to go back to 37, when they said, and some of them said, could not this man, like they don't even have faith that Christ can bring him back from the dead. Their whole thing is, well, couldn't he have prevented him from dying? You see what I'm saying? Not knowing that he could with the faith of a mustard seed, he could bring him back from the dead. They like, well, damn, couldn't he have prevented it before he died? Well, no, Christ can bring him back after he's dead too. Salaki, I just wanted to make that point. Verse 38, Yahushua therefore again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Did you read 39, Salakia?
39. Yeah, I read it.
Yahushua said, take ye away this stone. So now he's giving them a commandment to take away the stone, right? Or a command to take away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he has been dead 4 days. Like, man, y'all want us to take this stone away, man. He stink now. He stink right about now. Y'all know how animals stink. You ever went down the street and smelled an animal? Well, a dead body is a lot worse, right? And so by now he stinks. Read on.
Verse 40. Yahushua saith unto her, said I not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God?
Right. Yahushua said unto her, said I not unto, like, have I not said this before? That if you would believe, like I just said, a little faith of if you would just believe, like just a little tiny bit, just a tiny bit, thou shouldest see the glory of the Most High, or should see the glory of God. Right? Read on.
Verse 41. Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid, and Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me.
Right. And that, if I may, Tizai, and to the point of, I just thought about something, to the point of verse 40, that's a problem in the Black community, that we do not have enough faith. Right. We don't believe that our captivity could be turned. Right. And a lot of times in the Black community, whenever we start running into like problems and issues, we start trying to question God. We start saying, oh, so how could God let babies die? How could God do this? How could God do that? And we never stop to realize that we're the reason why these things are happening. Right. Verse 41. Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahushua lifted up his eyes and said, Father, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. Read on. And another thing right here, who Christ talking to? Is he talking to himself? Like schizophrenia, like, Father, yes, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. Like, come on now. There's a difference between the Son and the Father. Read on.
Verse 42. Mm-hmm. And I knew that thou bearest me always, thou hearest me always, but because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me.
Right. And so Christ is like, I knew that thou hearest me always. Like, I know you hear me. I don't have to question that. But the things that whatever he said it so that everybody else can hear. Right. Because of the people which stand by, I said it. That they may believe that thou hast sent me. That's the whole purpose. Because, Israelites will question it. What? Who sent you? Nigga, who sent you? The Most High sent me. Prove it. That's how Black people are. Christ did things. He did it. He did whatever he did a specific way so that we would know that the Most High sent him. Verse 43. I'm about to have you pick it up too, guys.
Verse 43. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth.
Right. So he spoke very loudly, Lazarus, come forth. Right. Verse 44.
And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Jesus saith unto them, loose him and let him go.
Right. So after Christ is like, Lazarus, come forth, verse 44, and he that was dead came forth. So now Lazarus is not dead anymore. Lazarus is alive, bound hand and foot with grave clothes. You know, they They would wrap you up in like a body. They would wrap you up in like the sheet or something. And I believe he would have said he had a napkin over his face.
Yeah.
He had a napkin over his face, and they just bind the body up. Right? They bind the body up and they put you in. He was like in a cave. Nowadays, we go in like a coffin with 6 feet deep. You might be in that hole with 2-3 other people, but hey, that's how we do it these days.
Right.
Verse 45.
That's like it. But when you in the when you in the grave now, you like look like you about to go somewhere. Like
yeah.
Like it's not like like it's over. You know what I'm saying? It's like you about to go like back to church.
They
like,
put
you know what I'm saying? Because you got like
your
a
best church outfit.
Huh?
They put you in your best church outfit.
Right. And then what would be crazy too? It's like you ever saw that movie Night of the Living Dead? Where people was like getting out the grave and walking. But then you see how like some of the dead people, they was walking and their suit will just come right off because it was like cut in the back, and they and that's how they do it. Like they'll cut the suit in the back and then tuck everything. So like so if you ever do get up, you know what I'm saying, and start walking, it's just gonna come off.
The front just go. That's funny. So like verse 45.
45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him.
Right. So there was remember it said that when Mary and Martha was weeping over Lazarus, there was Jews that were there. There was Jews that were there that was comforting both of the two, right? Or the two. And when they seen that, when they seen that, they believed. They believed on Christ. They understood that this is the Christ. This is the Son of God. Read on.
But some of them went their ways.
But who?
Some of them went their ways to the Pharisees.
Go ahead.
And told them what things Yahushua had done.
Right. So then you got two kinds of niggas out here, man. You know, you got your ones that believe. I believe what I just seen, because I just seen that with my own eyes. Like I just seen him bring somebody back from the dead. But then you got the haters out here. They see it, but what they go do?
They went to but some of them went their ways to the Pharisees. And told them what things Yahushua had done.
Right. Then you got some of these Negroes, they went to the Pharisees. Now, we all know that the Pharisees had an issue with Christ. Yep. We all know that the Sadducees had an issue with Christ. It was clear as day. Right. All throughout the scriptures, we've seen the Sadducees and the Pharisees coming to question Christ all of the time. At every point, everywhere that they could, they was trying to trip up Christ. Some of these Negroes, they go to the Pharisees. Go ahead.
Come. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
Right. These is like your simple Negroes that believe in America. You see what I'm saying? They believe in American culture. They believe in the justice system. They believe in the voting process. They believe in government. What'd you say?
I said patriotism.
Yeah. Those was patriots right there, right? Roman patriots. It says, but some of them went to the Pharisees. Verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests, right? These the top priests. And the Pharisees, and they had a council and said, like, what are we going to do? For like this dude, he do mad miracles. He's doing stuff and people are starting to believe on him.
Right.
You see what I mean? Like, if people believe that he's the king, then Pontius Pilate or whoever's the king or whatever at that time, or ruling over whatever, this guy is going to come and take our place away from us. You see what I mean? Like, they're worried about their position in the Roman government. They're worried about their position in the American government. like how black people today, black people are so compromised today that's in government that they won't even speak out against what's wrong just so they can keep their place in down in Washington D.C. You know what's going on is wrong, and you won't speak up and say anything. You see I don't know how certain terms, you could see the unaliving of a people today and still keep your position in, you know, whether it's the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, because the money that you receive is from those people doing all the unaliving. I don't know if y'all understand. You understand what I'm saying? If we let him thus alone, all men, it says, who all men will believe on him. Now, when they say all men, are they talking about people in China? They're talking about the immediate people right there. So when that whole all men doctrine is like ridiculous. Every time a Christian see all men, they'll read that right there and they won't think all men everywhere, like Indian people and this and that. They understand that that's specifically for the people in that place right there. Right. But then when they read something else that you know, where it may refer to all men getting salvation or something like that, then they'll try to apply like that to all men and everybody, when that doesn't make sense. Verse 49. And that just shows you that they're worried about their place with a whole nother nation, with the oppressors, versus their place in their own nation. Right? You can have fame and prestige in your own nation, but you worried about the fame and prestige of, you know, how this other nation is going to view you, and the position that they're going to take away from you. Well, what about my say so? Damn it, you worried about what they say versus what I say. Go ahead.
Verse 49, and one of them named Caiaphas. Say it again. Caiaphas. Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all.
Now look, Caiaphas now, man, what? Y'all don't know nothing at all. Read on.
Nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation perish not.
Right, Caiaphas. This sounds pretty smart right here. It says, like, y'all don't know nothing. And nor do you even consider that it's expedient. What does expedient mean?
Like, that means, like, is it good for us?
Right. Good or profitable, right? Nor do you even consider that it's profitable for us that one man should die for the people. And that so that one man died, but then all of us don't. That gives all of us a second chance. Right? Read on.
51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation.
Right. And so he wasn't speaking about himself, but he prophesied that Yahushua was going to die for the nation. Right? Read on.
And not for that nation only.
And not for that nation only. Right? Read on.
But that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
Right. Come on now. Caiaphas tell you Caiaphas right here is telling you the purpose of Christ.
Exactly.
That Christ ain't just come to die for one nation, but he came not only for that one nation, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad. It's that's why James in 1:1.
Right.
Who else?
Deuteronomy.
Who?
I said the book of Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy talks about us being scattered abroad. James 1:1 talks about to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. Also Ezekiel, in Ezekiel the 37th chapter, this is where he's like referencing right here that he's not going to die for this one nation, but that he's going to gather the other people that scattered abroad. Why? So that they can not be no more two nations, but one nation
Exactly.
with one king. That's in Ezekiel 37. Take the stick of Judah and the stick of Ephraim, put it together. So there's no more two sticks, but one stick. That's all in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. And this is what Caiaphas, Caiaphas is prophesying. Read on.
Sir. Verse 53. Then from that day forth, they took counsel together for to put him to death.
To do what?
Put him to death.
So the Pharisees at this time, the elders, they took counsel. They had this counsel. And after they have this counsel, even after they hear Caiaphas, that from that day forth, they took counsel together to put Yahushua to death. Read on.
Yahushua therefore walked no more openly among the Jews.
Right. He couldn't even walk. He didn't even walk no more openly among, some of his own people. Right. Read on.
But went thence unto a country near to the wilderness, into a city called Ephraim, and there continued with his disciples.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jews' Passover was nigh at hand, and many went out of the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then sought they for Yahushua, and spake among themselves as they stood in the temple, what think ye, that he will not come to the feast? Now both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a commandment that if any man knew where he were, he should show it, that they might take him.
Salakia. It says, where you start, and Yahushua therefore walked no more openly among the Jews, but went thence into a country near to the wilderness, into a city called Ephraim, right? So now he's in the city of Ephraim. And the Jews' Passover was nigh at hand. And many went out of the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then sought they for Yahushua and spake among themselves as they stood in the temple. What think ye, that he will not come to the feast? So they like, is he going to come or is he not going to come? Right. Now, both of the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a commandment that if any man knew where he were, he should show it, that they might take him. Right. So now they put out the decree. If anybody see Christ, because the Passover is here, you see him come, let us know so that we can grab him. Right. Hold on. I'm gonna go into 12 real quick. I'm gonna go into So then Martha, so then Mary, she washes Christ's feet. Verse 9, give me 12 and 9. We still talking about Lazarus. Okay, Lazarus was raised from the dead. The Sadducees and the Pharisees, they came to plot on Christ because he's doing these miracles. And now they want to try to unalive him, right? All right, verse 12 and 9.
This is the book of John, chapter 12 and verse 9. Much people of the Jews therefore knew that he was there, and they came not for Yahushua sake only, but that they might see Lazarus also, whom he had whom he had raised from the dead.
Right. So a lot of people, they knew where Christ was at. And they came, but they didn't come for Christ. Well, okay, they did come for Christ. It says not for his sake only, right? But that they might see Lazarus also. Like, they want to see, like, man, Lazarus was in that grave. I know he was in that grave stinking for 4 days. I need to come and see if this is true or not. Whom he had raised from the dead. Verse 10.
But the chief priests consulted that they might put Lazarus also to death.
Hey, yo, the chief priests is, God damn. They see the miracle. They see that he was dead and that Christ brought him back to life. But they trying to put him back to death. God damn. Hey, they ruthless. They ruthless. They trying to put him back in the ground. Right? Read on.
Because that by reason of him, many of the Jews went away and believed on Yahushua.
Right. So they so mad that people left following them to go now believe on Christ.
Right.
And so they so mad at Christ, they about to put Lazarus back to death. They about to kill Lazarus. Like, golly. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That's like literally no brotherhood right there, right? Because Lazarus, it's not like Lazarus is not an Israelite. It's not like Yahushua is not an Israelite. You should be happy that the brother is, back from the dead, that he gets a second chance at whatever he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
But instead, they like, nah, because Christ brought him back, we need to kill Lazarus.
Right.
Because people are now following Christ.
Right. And what I think is so crazy is like they're more upset about the fact that they're losing followers rather than being excited about the fact that there is a man walking from the dead among you. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that I can't understand about the Pharisees. Like they're so evil and against Christ that they have a great miracle that's literally walking in front of them. Like, this man literally came back from the dead. And the only thing that you can think about is stopping that miracle so you can get your followers back. Right.
Like just like the modern day religious institutions. You might come into learning about Christ and then you leave the institution. They're mad because now you're actually literally following Christ. And they're mad because you left the institution and all they want to do is just try to get you back so you could be, in whatever stupor or whatever unconsciousness you was in, to sit there and let this man teach you about nothing.
Right.
Where are we at? Verse
12.
Verse 12.
On the next day, much people that were come to the feast, when they heard that Yahushua was coming to Jerusalem, took branches of palm trees and went forth to meet him and cried, Hosanna, blessed is the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord.
Right. So they heard Yahushua there. So they go and how, they break the branches, all that, so he can walk, along the branches or over the branches. Right. And they said, blessed be the King of Israel that cometh in the name of the Lord. Right. Go ahead.
And Yahushua, when he had found a young ass, sat thereon, as it is written, fear not, daughter of Zion. Behold, thy king cometh, sitting on an ass's colt.
Right. That was back in, what's that, Psalms or Isaiah, something like that. Go ahead.
These things understood not his disciples at the first, but when Yahushua was glorified, then remembered they that these things were written of him, and that had done these things unto him. The people, therefore, that was with him when he called Lazarus out of his grave and raised him from the dead, bear record.
Right. So those people that was there was able to bear record that what they seen that day was true. Read on.
For this cause, the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how ye prevail nothing. Behold, the world is gone after him.
Right. The world is everybody going after him. Right. It says the people therefore that was with him when he called Lazarus out of the grave and raised him from the dead bear record. So now Christ has these brothers. Remember, it said that after Lazarus was made alive, there was a lot of people that believed on Christ, but then there was a lot of brothers that went over to go tell the Sadducees or the Pharisees. But the ones that believed on Christ, they was able to bear record. For this cause, the people also met him, for that they heard that he had done this miracle. The Pharisees therefore said among themselves, perceive ye how ye prevail nothing. Behold, the world is going after him. Read on.
Verse 20. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast. The same came therefore to Philip, which was one of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we will see Yahushua. Philip cometh and telleth Andrew, and again Andrew and Philip tell of Yahushua. And Yahushua answered them, saying, the hour is come that the Son of Man should be glorified. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit.
Right. So the story of Lazarus is about a brother who passed away. A brother who passed away, a friend of Christ, right? And Christ, loved the brother enough to weep over the brother and go and bring him back to life. Now, the purpose of Christ bringing him back to life is so that everybody who's seen that can understand who Christ is and that he can get his glory. But there was Israelites who didn't like that Christ was doing this, right?
Right.
And so because they was afraid of losing their place in the Roman government, they came to try to sabotage Christ. But they wasn't able to prevail. That's the story of Lazarus. And there's a lot to learn in Lazarus, right? I think a lot of people don't, pay attention to that story, but there's a lot of little different nuances that that you can learn from out of there, right? Let me get one or two more scriptures and then I'm gonna get y'all out of here. We got some what's that? Parmesan, we got cheese, something back there, man. What we got? Parmesan chicken. Uh-huh.
And then you also got fried fish.
And we got some fried fish and stuff. Like I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. Y'all look like y'all hungry.
But even like what's crazy, man, is like even Lazarus bounced. Even Lazarus left the truth.
Kind of a con.
In the end, you know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Once Christ started talking about, eating the flesh of my body and all that, Lazarus was like, I'm out of here, man. And he brought him back to life. And
Like, hey, yo, yeah.
he still left.
But that's just like we see today. We see a lot of Lazaruses today.
Yeah.
Right? We see a lot of brothers being brought back to life. You was out in the world doing whatever you was, Valley of Dry Bones. You see what I'm saying? And then one of these brothers, you heard one of these brothers, seen one of their camp videos, and then now the tendons coming back, the joints is coming back, the sinews, everything coming, the muscle, everything coming, right? And now you a new man, then all of a sudden you hear something or see something or I don't know, whatever in the truth, and then you wreck back out.
That's crazy.
You got brought back to life, and then now you willingly walking back to the dead. You know what I mean? That's simple to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think the advice that Tazaiwan gave a little earlier, where you gotta fight that much harder. You gotta figure out what brought you into the truth, and that kind of what is you gotta hone on to that. You gotta hone into that. You gotta remember that. You got to remember that feeling that you had when you watched the video and opened up the Bible and read that first verse and was like, this nigga's telling the truth. For me, I'm going to tell you what it was. It was Jeremiah 14:2. It was Jeremiah 14:2. Captain Mashak had read it. I was like, wait a minute. I had grabbed the Bible, right? And I flipped through it. I turned to Jeremiah 14:2. And my Bible didn't say what he said, what his said. Now, immediately threw that Bible away, got me a King James version, and that was what brought me into the truth, what had me like that. Oh, snap. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to remember that feeling. You got to remember whatever that was, because you think Satan ain't gonna mess with you. Like you the only one ain't gonna get temptation. The scriptures say, my prepare thyself for temptation. When you come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. That's in the Apocrypha. Understand that. You ain't no different than anybody else that's going to have to deal with this temptation. But what you are going to have to do is sit in these goddamn classes so that you could be armed with some tools to fight when the time comes. Mm-hmm. If you ain't got no tools to fight when the time comes, guess what you're going to be doing? Hey, shalom, all nations. I believe that John 3:16 ain't just talking about Israelites. I seen it happen, man. Come on now. I seen it happen. When I seen it happen, I was like, yo, Tazai, why you see that? You see this shit? Give me Galatians 5:14. I'm going to end it with Galatians 5:14.
Khan. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
For all the law is fulfilled in one word.
Right. So when we dealing with the scriptures, right, we have our brotherhood class, we have the law class, we have scripture breakdown, all that kind of stuff like that, right? But when Paul is writing to the Galatians, to the Israelites in Galatia, he says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word. Read on.
Even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another.
This is great advice right here. But I'm going to ask the question. Verse 14 first. It says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word. It said it's all fulfilled in one word, even this, but it gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It gave you 7 words. What's the one word? It's the spirit behind. What's the spirit behind? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. What's the one word? It says all the law is fulfilled in this one word. Thou shalt love thy brother as thy love thyself. What is the one word?
The one word is thyself. Nah, damn.
No. What's tonight's class? Come on, y'all.
Brotherhood.
Brotherhood.
Like it. Yeah.
That's what it's all fulfilled in. This one word.
Right.
It's brotherhood. I love you like I love me.
Right.
If I don't love you like I love me, then I'm willing to do anything to you to harm you or hurt you. You see what I'm saying? But if I love you like I love myself, then I won't steal from you. I won't rob you. I won't, do things that's going to harm you because I have what? Brotherhood.
Right.
That's what the one word is. Verse 15.
Khan.
But if you good. But if we bite and devour one another, which black people do today, we bite each other and devour one another. We consistently are in contention with one another. We fighting each other so much so that, over little stuff. It used to be like stepping on sneakers and stuff, right? So it used to be like I would have a physical encounter with you. Maybe I walked on your block or something like that. Now it's just Facebook.
Yeah.
Now it's just the internet. Now brothers is, beefing with each other from 50 states of 25 states away for literally nothing. We bite and devour each other. It's just something that's in us, right? But if you do bite and devour one another, we need to take heed of that. Why do we need to take heed? So we don't consume each other, right?
Exactly.
So we don't just off our population because of just beefs that we have. It ain't even like other people are doing it. We're doing it to in a lot of cases to ourselves. You see what I'm saying? Okay. And that right there, that problem that we have, that lack of brotherhood that we have can be fixed. It can be fixed if we, of course, sit in classes and be taught brotherhood. But if we just start to do something very simple, and that's to follow the law, statutes, and commandments. If we start to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, by default, you'll start to have better brotherhood. And with that being said, I would like to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Kaash. You got the yeah. Somebody got it? You got it? I think it's in the chat.
I know it.
You got it? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see about it. I'm good.
Yeah.
This is the ISUPK security announcements. Goes to new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months.
Here you go.
They are off limits for 6 months. They are here to learn and sell themselves of the world. They are to be saluted only. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they have to seek counsel from the heads, tied to the commandments. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. My ISA gives a 10% of every increase of every frame that the Lord gives you. Priest fund is a free offering for the priests. It's not mandatory. whatever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming holy, the holy holiday is the feast of.
You know what the next one is?
It's like the Memorial of Trumpets.
I believe so. Somebody got it since September or something, right? Yeah, we got another high holy day coming up in September.
In September. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
I think that's in the chat too. I'm gonna get a printout.
If any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, you start wearing all black boots, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, margin, which means a stand. Men of Israel give a courteous salute. Margin Shabbat. Margin, Barak.
Yahweh Bashem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahshua, hands down. Sorrow, we turn and face the sisters. Sisters stand. Men of Israel give a courteous salute. Margin Shabbat. Margin, Barak.
Yahweh Shamal and Thumba Hashem Yahushua.
Yahshua,
Slow down.